Oh, we better start really getting a fan base there, Nikki G.
Hopefully.
Yeah, let's hope, because I am a stickler for times and dates. As in, not really times, like I don't really care when this thing is up. As long as it's on Sunday, then I'm true to my word.
That's all we ever can be.
That's all I'm gonna, just like the bloody screen has to be up on every Friday, the movie thing podcast has to be every Sunday. And then every other bullshit I decide to throw up in between. Welcome. As you probably heard, this is the Movie Thing podcast, because it is Sunday! Yeah, I don't know what I was doing. Yep, it's me and Nikki G, because, well, Nikki G is a trooper. I hand you this, people. He is a fucking trooper. Unlike, everybody else who's like, well, I'd rather watch Pirates of the Caribbean than record stuff. I'm like, oh, I'd rather watch a movie I've seen 100 times than, do something different.
I actually have to go watch Iron Man for the 91st time. I'll be right back.
If he was actually kidding about the 90, how high did you get up with watching Iron Man?
Probably about now. Probably be about 83. I mean, it wasn't not that since the last time we went over it.
He has watched Iron Man 1 83 times, people. The
Yes.
first Iron Man. It's a good movie. I watched it recently, like last month. But, Jesus Christ. I tried to compete with you on that, Nick, back when you were doing that. I was like, oh, well, I'll watch The Dark Knight that many times.
Oh, hell.
One, I picked a hard movie to do that with.
Yeah.
The Dark Knight's like a 3-hour movie, and I'm just like, fuck.
It's one of those things where it is a really great movie, but it's like, I'd watch it in my room as well, but be like, I'd get to the point where it's 2 hours in, I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that'd be like trying to marathon through all the Lord of the Rings in one sitting with The Hobbit.
I'm going to try that. You know that.
It's only 12 hours of sitting there staring at a blank, screen.
I know, Carlisle did that.
Did he?
Yeah.
No
it was like some movie theater where they actually had like all the screenings and stuff, and they showed the very last one at the end.
You know what I wanted to do? When the Avengers came out, we had one of the theater branches here. I think it was AMC doing it. Not 100%, but when the Avengers came out, you can literally watch Iron Man 2, The Incredible Hulk, Thor, Captain America, and then the Avengers. You could literally watch, all, 6 movies? 5 movies, whatever. You watch all 5 movies in one, like in just one sitting, one theater. And I'd be like, I could do that, but I'd probably walk out in the middle of the Hulk. During all the boring parts of the Hulk, like maybe skip the beginning, get to the part where Tim Roth becomes a badass, skip that middle part, and then during the end fight. Just walk out, get popcorn, do whatever the hell I want, stretch my legs. I would use that movie, because it is the weaker of the entirety bunch. In my opinion. Well, maybe Iron Man 2 is weaker, actually. Maybe I'd do that in Iron Man 2.
Well, I like both really, but I think, that's hard. I'm not sure what I would like best, really.
Out of all of them, people who may not know this, I'm a big Captain America whore. So, you throw his face on like a box of cereal, I'll probably buy it. So his movie, of course, in my opinion, is the best of all those, because I'm like, oh, it's just so great. It's just, out of those ones, of course, everyone knows the best Marvel one is Iron Man 1. Let's admit it. The only one I did not like is actually Iron Man 3. I did not like Iron Man 3.
I have still not seen Iron Man 3.
It's nothing I'm going to say you have to see anytime, soon. Like, if you Redbox it, you'd be like, that was fine. You say midnight premiere like I did, you'd be like, well, there's a lot of plot holes. And we actually have that on our site, people. If you go to bloodscreen.weebly.com, you can hear our spoiler cast where we reveal every single little plot hole in that movie. Actually, it's the last one of those series talks that we did. We haven't done that in a while, Nick.
Nope. No trailer talks, series talks.
I think I was stretching myself too thin right there. when I was trying to do so many recordings and plus trying to get people on and blah, blah, blah. Right now we have a bunch of content lined up and I don't even have to really worry. So I'm happy with that. Anyways, how you doing, Nick? How was your day?
I've been doing pretty good. I mean, you know, we had the Aurora anniversary, which, I don't know, is there a word, another word for anniversary that is not supposed to be happy?
A non-happy anniversary?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like a word.
Funeral? No.
Well, yeah, you know, we had that, Aurora anniversary thing yesterday, but, in, lighter news, I also had I had, two families' birthday to go over to and celebrate, and been playing the hell out of.
You have to go over those. No.
But then I've been playing two games. I know one of them we're going to be doing a review for
Alright, awesome.
pretty soon.
Yeah, pretty soon. I don't know when it'll be up, but it'll be soon that we record it at least.
Yeah.
It's kind of up there in the, I don't fucking know when I'm going to put that up because, to my knowledge, Nick, right now, we got about 3 reviews lined up.
That are already recorded?
No, not recorded, that we
just...
need to record. We have 3 reviews we need to record because, I'm going to admit it, people, right now, and this is kind of the video game side of things. I should probably bring this up, but whatever. Certain games, I will not play all the way through. I will give it a shot. I will play as much as I'm willing to play, 2-3 hours. And one case, I played basically, about 10 hours game before I gave up. But, it's like, JRPGs and just games that aren't very good. I cannot, you cannot expect me to try to play all the way through it. Let's put it that way. Now, unless if it's a AAA title. If it's a AAA title, then, or if that's the only thing out this week, because this week, literally, Nick, I have 4 games I had to play this week. So, people cut me some fucking slack if I didn't play all the way through one of these games. I'm trying to get them out as quickly as possible, so, excuse me. In 1 week, we had 3 fucking releases. It kind of drives me nuts. I'm like, whoa. Guys, there's nothing coming out the rest of the month. No one could put that out?
Exactly, and then we're going to have all these other releases coming up in the coming months.
Dude, that's when, it's kind of like my way of thinking that the video game industry is trying to kill reviewers. Because they're just like, oh, you want to play through everything and you don't have a huge staff? Or in my case, where I basically am the only one that actually plays through them, unless it's a game that Dustin doesn't review anymore. He's made that perfectly clear to me. He does not want to do that. So, unless it's a game that you, or, other Nick, decides to play, then fuck that. It's just me. Because I'm willing to play anything, and the other 2 don't decide, or, well, you, I don't blame you really because, it's different. But Nick decides he doesn't want to get, Gamefly or something where I'm like, dude, seriously, get fucking Gamefly and then you can do what I'm doing where I get all the new games. Because I say I don't give them a choice. So for the most part they say, okay, here you go. Anyways, yeah, movie stuff. Yeah, this is the movie thing podcast, not the whole...
Well, the question is, how are you doing?
Oh, fuck that, dude. Okay, people, I may sound kind of maybe out of breath or I don't know, exhausted. It's because I spent I started this today. I started today putting more brake fluid in my clutch because my clutch in my car, basically it lost all the fluid and my car takes brake fluid, blah, 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 blah. I'm not going to get into the specifics. But basically I had to fill that up. That's not a big deal. It takes 3 seconds to do that. I pumped it up, got it working again, just fine. Then I washed my car and waxed it. Which waxing takes a long fucking time, so that's another hour right there. But then I had to change the brakes because I had a rotor all messed up. Well, the geniuses who had the car before me decided they were going to put an entirely different rotor with it without changing any other part. So the entire fucking thing, I'm trying not to get really into what's wrong with my car, but basically we had different parts mixing which aren't supposed to mix. And which makes life really hard. I literally went to AutoZone 5 fucking times a day. 5 times. Separate fucking times. They're doing a car wash down at the AutoZone, and those people started recognizing me. after the third time, they're like, oh, back again. Fourth time, back again. Fifth time, oh, you guys just keep coming back. Like, stop.
Yeah, well, after, the third time I ran through a freaking preschool because my brakes don't work, I figured I had to get them fixed.
Honestly. Well, yeah, basically once I started, and honestly, I didn't even hear any squeaking or anything because, and it's still technically that way right now, is I have a different type of brake on a different type of rotor, and the brakes really don't match the rotor as well. But I figured, well, my last brakes last me about 2 years before it fucked everything over. So I got another at least 2 years before I have to really worry about it. So yay! Yeah. Yay for laziness and procrastination and the fact I cannot afford all the fucking parts it needs to replace all that shit. But yeah, I've been doing that for the last 4 hours or so of my day. Yeah, it's a good way to spend your day off, people. Just fucking with a car. I can't think of anything else. I could be playing the Serious Sam collection that I just got. Haven't even opened it from GameFly, and nope. Nah, don't be absurd. I haven't wanted to play the Serious Sam games again. I haven't missed those. No. I wanted to fuck with my car.
Yeah, had no time to drink iced tea on the porch.
Oh, I know. Actually, I'm almost, literally, I just opened a beer. And I'm almost done with it because I've just been like, I gotta make the pain go away. Let's just say I have to feel like I'm gonna have to make up for lost time today, and I'm not gonna sleep at all tonight, and I'm just gonna be playing. I'm gonna try to beat one of the Serious Sams tonight, which I don't know how fucking long they are, because I'll be honest, I never finished any of them. I've only played 1 and 2. So it shall be interesting. But anyways, I think it's time to get on with our podcast. I don't know. Unless you got something else you want to bring up, except for, you know what this tells me though, Nick, real quick?
What's that?
Just take my fucking car to mechanic. Because I was thinking about that. I was like, okay, yeah, sure, they'd charge me like, $60 more to do it. But it would have been done in like an hour. So, let's see. Which one of these is a little bit better? One that takes an hour? Or one that's a little bit cheaper but takes about 4 hours? I don't know. Let's get into this very interesting, in fact, top 5. Oh, brought to you by some weird ale I'm drinking. People could tell I'm worn out because I'm just like, whatever. Fuck this shit I'm drinking is. Alright, and you think I would start with number 5, people, because that's a good place to start. But in fact, I'm going to start with number 7. Number 7 is so fucking interesting to me because I'm so surprised. It just came out this Friday. R.I.P.D.
God damn.
Which does not tell me that's a good movie in the slightest. That, or people weren't excited to see the ghost version of Men in Black. I don't really know which one it is. I mean, out of all the movies that are in our top 5, I'm going to be honest with you, Nick. This one seemed like it would have been the most interesting to me. I like Jeff Bridges. I like Ryan Reynolds. Or Ryan... Is it Ryan Reynolds?
Yes. Okay.
I was about to say, is it Ryan Gosling or Reynolds? Oh, fuck. I don't know. Did you... I mean, you didn't see this movie, did you?
No, I didn't even know it came out this week.
Nick, other Nick on our show, he was telling me it didn't come out till next week. But then I was seeing trailers all this week saying, coming out this week. And... because people have been getting strapped for cash for actually car reasons, I'm not going to be able to see any new movies for some time. But, at least I'll probably end up seeing the Wolverine anyways, just because I'm excited as hell for that, but that's beside the point. But I'm just really surprised that R.I.P.D. did not beat out the number 4 at least, or even number 2 to be honest. But anyways, number 5, because, okay, real quick, which is really sad, and I'm really sad about this. Number 6 is Pacific Rim. And I'm really sad that dropped off the top 5 already. I don't know.
Has it been getting good reviews? I mean, I've heard so-so stuff about it.
It's kind of been a so-so thing, where you get the uppity critics, the people who are really like, I like stories that are in all internet and blah, 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 blah. You get those people who are bombing the movie because, yeah, it does have a shitty story, let's not lie. But then you got people like me who are like, dude, it's giant robots fighting giant aliens. That's, bleh. Why aren't you saying this if you don't think that's cool? And apparently not many people thought that was cool because it's only the second weekend and it's already out of the top 5. I was really expecting that to do better, but, what do I know?
I don't know. I guess, I don't know, maybe people are getting, I don't want to say sick of, action movies, maybe a little exhausted from them.
I don't know if people are getting sick of that. I don't know. I mean, it's not, we haven't had a giant monster movie since, fucking Cloverfield, to my knowledge. So you think that'd be something new that people aren't expecting at this point, where they're like, oh, fuck, a giant monster movie. I haven't seen one of those in a while, since like 2008. It's only been like fucking 5 years, but what do I know? I really was expecting a giant monster movie to do way better, but I mean, I was more excited for this Pacific Rim than I was for Godzilla. I'm gonna be honest. The new Godzilla they're remaking, I'm like, oh, fuck it, that's just one giant monster. This has a bunch fighting giant robots. I don't know. Maybe I'm just that type of nerd who I just fucking, I get all like excited just hearing that.
Well, did you have like, I want to say, kind of a previous history with it? Like, do you know like the books or the comics or what? I'm not even sure what it has, but I don't know. I mean, I know you guys talked about the trailers a little bit, a while back in the previous podcast, but I mean, me personally, I mean, I wasn't really all that excited for it, to tell you the truth.
Okay, yeah. Well, I know me and Nick we were definitely excited for it. We were like giddy little schoolgirls, and maybe the entire revenue of this movie is from people like me and Nick, because I've even told people about the movie. I'm like, oh, it's good. It's a fun action movie, because it is a blast to watch, because it is action packed. But no one seemed to be wanting to buy it. Like when they were hearing me describe it, they're like, well, nah. That was their kind of responses. Nah. Oh, we'll see.
Maybe that last Godzilla put a bad taste in the mouth.
Maybe, and not many people are fans of Cloverfield like me. I fucking love Cloverfield.
Hell yeah.
And actually, Nick, oddly enough, does not like Cloverfield, but he hates shaky cam. So that's his own thing. But anyways, number 5 is a movie I didn't really care for. And I didn't see the sequel. I didn't see actually number 5, but I saw the prequel. Number 5 being Red 2. And all I could say is, you know what? It kind of looks similar. I mean, I don't know what you could do with Red 2. I mean, Red 1 was kind of the first Red was, oh, look at all these retired CIA agents. Let the comedy ensue. And this one, look at all the retired CIA agents. Let the comedy, I mean.
What was the premise for the first one? Like, I know this one has the Helen Mirren. Didn't she like have a contract to kill?
Yeah, she has a contract to kill him for whatever reason. I don't know the exact reason. In the first one, I haven't seen the first one in a long time, but in the first one, I want to say Bruce Willis was being framed for something, or they were trying to kill him off. It was one of the two, where I think the CIA was trying to kill him for whatever reason. And so he got his little band of assholes together to, and they got a good cast. I like Bruce Willis. I like, actually this Red 2 didn't seem like it had Morgan Freeman at all, which I was like, oh. But I liked John Malkovich. I liked Morgan Freeman. I liked Helen Mirren. I like all those actors. I did not care for Red. And Red 2, granted, it looks kind of funny. I mean, I'll admit, it looks like a good action comedy for the most part, but, it's not something I'd see in theaters. Like, I will see it, just not in theaters. I don't know. Would you, did you see Red or read any of that?
I have not. I mean, I've heard good things about Red 1. I haven't heard anything about Red 2. And it's weird because, I mean, a lot of these are like new releases and they're not starting off really good, are they?
They're not. Like, Red 2, I mean, it starts off at number 1. I mean, it didn't do as bad as R.I.P.D., but it's not doing that great. Yeah, Red 2, honestly, it just, it's an action comedy, and if you thought Red 1 was awesome, you'd probably like Red 2. I'm not gonna lie. But if you were like me and you're like, well, nah, wasn't nothing special. And the good thing is they kind of got rid of Carl Urban, who, the only good role I've seen him in is the Star Trek. So they kind of got rid of his ass, which was nice. But anyways, Number 4, which is really an atrocity compared to where Pacific Rim is at, because they were released the same week. Grown Ups 2. I don't know if it's the only comedy that's out right now. I mean, they have The Heat that dropped down pretty well, but maybe it's because it's the raunchy dude comedy. I don't know. I can't explain it.
Well, I mean, the public loves those Adam Sandler movies. I mean, I'm not sure if it's going to get to the point where either they kind of, realize for what it is, and I want to kind of somewhat bullshit for some of the stuff he puts out, but, I mean, hell, what was it, Jack and Jill?
Oh my god, I think I just threw up a little bit. What?
I mean, it's just one of those things where it's like, I didn't even want, the first time I saw that was on, South Park.
Oh, yeah.
There's an episode and they're making fun of it. I didn't even know it was coming out. I thought it was just a joke.
Oh.
It was freaking real.
Actually, I saw the best thing. It was on Robot Chicken. I mentioned Robot Chicken quite a bit on this show. Guys, I'm a fan of Robot Chicken. What can I lie? Yeah, I like Robot Chicken. They made a funny thing where they kind of revamped a lot of Adam Sandler movies. And the Jack and Jill one was just the best, because I really wish they would do that with Jack and Jill, where it's just like, when someone says, Jill died years ago, and he's looking in the mirror, no, and he's, Adam said, why do you think Jill looks exactly like you? And I was just like, oh, that would have been such a better story if it turned out he was Jill the whole fucking time. But as for Grown Ups 2, it's just the Adam Sandler people. That's all I can say. That's literally all I can say. The Adam Sandler people are just, there's people who like his movies, and I liked Happy Gilmore, and that's about the only one I can think of off the top of my head.
Happy Gilmore was good.
Maybe Big Daddy for a little bit. But besides that, I'm not the biggest fan of his. I mean, the worst movie I've seen of his, because I never did see Jack and Jill, was Little Nicky. And the only thing Little Nicky does good for me is it makes me want to go eat fried chicken. That's the only thing that movie can do for me, is when I'm watching
Popeyes fried chicken.
Which the only Popeyes I know that's nearby us is in a gas station, which it all depends how well you think of gas station fast food.
Yeah. It's not just fast food, it's gas station fast food.
I know. It's like people are like, oh, McDonald's is bad for you. It's like, have you ever eaten a McDonald's that was in a gas station? I guarantee that's twice as bad. And I have eaten at that Popeyes that's in the gas station. It's like off 120th. And I still enjoyed it. I'm not going to lie. But then again, I'm just like, I don't know what you're cooking. Maybe this hot oil you're cooking this in is maybe some fuel. I don't know what the fuck it is. But it still tastes pretty good. I don't even know where the actual restaurant. We have like one restaurant to my knowledge in Colorado for Popeyes. I have no idea where it's even located at.
But, have you ever seen, like, we've seen movies where, someone's eating like a freaking, gas station sandwich from a vending machine? Have you ever seen those?
I've never seen a sandwich vending machine. I'm not gonna lie. That sounds like the worst fucking thing ever. I have seen gas stations, like sandwiches, like where you could buy a gas station tuna sub, or tuna, like a tuna fish sandwich that's just like, cut diagonally and with the crust cut off for some reason. I have seen that. And all I can say is, what crazy motherfucker is buying fish at a gas station?
I guess that truly is movie magic.
I know, honestly. I have never seen anything fresh inside a vending machine, which I'm hearing that the government's trying to get the school districts to put fruit in vending machines. And all I can say is, how pissed off I would be. Say if I was that guy, I decided to buy a Granny Smith apple from the vending machine. If I purchased that one, and then it's like moldy on one side or all bruised up, and I'm like, what kind of crap is this? Who would buy something from? And plus, they never clean those vending machines. Why would you want something that's not prepackaged?
Yeah, you will never see a kid running up to hit a freaking vending machine just to get his fucking
food. Honestly. They'd be like, oh my god, they still have bananas left. I need to get one. Oh, I feel sorry I think our generation was like the last one that got to enjoy fatty, disgusting fucking foods at our elementary and middle schools and all that stuff. Because, every other generation after us, like even the year after we graduated, they just got dicked over. They really did. I'm just like, I'm sorry, guys.
Well, I don't know. Have you seen a lot of chunky kids under our age.
I see a lot of chunky everybody. I work at Walmart, dude. All I see is fat people.
Touche.
I was like, that's not a good example. Which actually, when I was in Oklahoma for about a week, dude, you have no idea. You know, if you live up north, like especially Colorado, we're like one of the thinnest states. I still see my fair share of fat people, but it's nowhere compared. Because I was at a Renaissance festival in Oklahoma, and holy fuck, did that just it was like, because the girls did not know that they were fat, so they would wear these. It was disgusting. The chick I was with, I was just like, oh my god, you were without a doubt the skinniest girl in this entire place.
How do you like the Renaissance Festival? I've only been to one.
Okay, let's say it this way. The Renaissance in Castle Rock here, it's way better. Because we actually have, if I'm not mistaken, have you been to the Castle Rock one here?
If it's the one I'm thinking of, which is like the only one in Colorado, then yes.
That one, to my knowledge, actually had a castle, didn't it?
Yeah, I mean, you have a castle wall, you have a bunch of garrisons, you have like a giant ship where they kind of do like this comedy. I mean, for some reason, Jack Sparrow was on the top of the gate when I was walking in.
Okay, let me ask you. Is it made of actual brick? Is what I'm asking.
I'd imagine. It's probably been 2 years, but I'm pretty sure it's probably brick.
I don't know. The one I went in Oklahoma this year was literally just kind of like a paper mache bullshit they set up, and it was a Renaissance festival because. Let's be honest, the only reason why we really went to it is because we were sitting on our couch, and I asked her, I was like, what do we want to do today? We actually had to search it up. She's like, well, there's a Renaissance festival today. I'm like, well, we could do that. Something to do. And it was terrible. It was pretty bad. We were like, wow. What?
Try having the old jester hit on your grandma. Yeah. That happened to me. Okay. That's my Renaissance experience.
Oh, god damn it. I just now noticed my knees are black. Anyways, wow, we got way off from grown-ups, too. Number 3.
Well, it's all jokes and bullshit.
Yeah, this is really just bullshitting show. I try to stay on topic only if we're doing an actual review, to be honest with you. Number 3 is actually a new one. I'm actually quite surprised. It's Turbo! That one about a snail who decides to somehow... If I remember the premise of this movie correctly, it's a snail who drinks NOS.
He gets like sucked up into an engine, and then he kind of gets chemically drugged.
Infused, and somehow he's faster than most cars. And for whatever reason in this universe, he's allowed to race inside the Daytona 500 or whatever. And all I can say is, that's a crazy enough premise for me to be like, well, it could be doing fine. I mean, you know what I'm seeing a lot that's doing really well this summer? It's not the big summer blockbusters.
It's the kids' movies.
The kids' movies are kicking ass this summer. This has actually been a piss-poor summer, Nick. Because even the movie I thought was going to do great this summer, our Pacific Rim, didn't do that great. I mean, yeah, its overall gross is $68.2 million. Our best grossing film that was a summer blockbuster that was not a kids movie has been Iron Man 3. And that was the first summer movie to come out. I mean, not even Star Trek got close, but it never beat it. So yeah, Turbo, it's a kids movie. It's made by, who the hell is it made by? Is it DreamWorks?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's DreamWorks.
It's DreamWorks. Honestly, it's kind of funny how DreamWorks can never beat Pixar no matter how hard they try. Because number 2 is Despicable Me 2. Which,
of course.
You know why I had to say the best blockbuster? I actually think Iron Man 3 is still beating Despicable Me 2. But Despicable Me 2 is still the number 2 spot, and it's made $276 million. Fucking A, is this movie doing great. Yeah, I've never seen any of the Despicable Me's, so I can't really comment on how I feel about this movie. All I can say is, it's about a villain who has to work with the good guys. Wasn't that the fucking premise of Despicable Me? Wasn't he like a villain and he gets kids, so he decides to be a good guy or something? I don't know.
I think it was something about like he kind of had a competition with another supervillain, and yeah, then it kind of he has these kids come into his life, and he kind of changes. It kind of warms his cold heart.
You know what I think is funny? You see that creepy bald dude that's the main character of Despicable Me?
Gru.
Yeah. So he had 2 kids. That means he bred some lady had 6 with him.
I thought he had 3
kids.
He have
3? I thought he had 2. I thought he had an older girl and a little girl.
I think he had 3 kids. I think there's like kind of 2 older girls and 1 younger girl.
I don't. Now I don't know. Goddamn. I'm just really thinking about the Despicable Me 2 trailer where I only seen 2 girls in it, so I was like, he only has 2. Now I don't know.
Maybe one of them died.
Maybe that's the whole twist where like one of them dies at the end of Despicable Me. I don't fucking know. I really don't know. I wish I knew, people. The last kids movie I saw was Toy Story 3. Because the rest of them, I didn't grow up watching. The only time I'd go back to watching a kids movie would be if they make an Incredibles 2. Which they're rumored to be thinking about it. But that only goes so far with me. Where they're like, well, maybe. I'm like, well, don't announce anything unless it's for sure. And number 1, Nick. Number 1 is the biggest fucking surprise I could have ever... If you would have asked me how this movie would have done, I would have told you, well, it's not even Halloween. It's going to do shit. The Conjuring.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, The Conjuring made more money this week than Red 2. It killed the shit out of RPD. Actually, the funniest thing, Red 2 and RIPD together do not match what The Conjuring made this week.
Shit.
And those are the 3 movies that came out this week, and both of them did not do a goddamn thing except The Conjuring. Which, people, I actually had a guy I know at work who he saw it and he said it was a good movie and all that, and he thought it was scary and blah 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 blah. But to me, it just looks like another generic fucking. It looks like another paranormal movie, which we are being bombarded with paranormal movies as of late.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's part why I'm surprised this is number 1, because you think. Well, I mean, I've heard good things about this too, but yeah, for the most part, I mean, it wouldn't be something that I would have just saw the trailer for. If I hadn't have heard anything, I probably wouldn't have gone to go see it. I just would have thought.
Like I said, Nick, if this was out at Halloween, this would make total fucking sense. But it's fucking July. I don't know who's like, you know what I want to see right now? A movie to scare the pants off me. You know?
Exactly. Well, I think maybe people are just getting, a little exhausted from all the action movies and all that kind of stuff, to where it's just, they just want to see something different.
Maybe. I really wish I could, like I said, if you would have asked me, hey, Brent, how good do you think The Conjuring is going to do? I'd say it'd probably start out at number 4. Red 2 would probably be up there. Pacific Rim, I would have said, would have still been at least number 5. And I would have thought RIPD would either be number 1 or number 2. I was really thinking RIPD was going to do way better than it did. And then, like I said, that's like the biggest upset I've seen this year, was this movie. And The Conjuring, it did great. Honestly, I don't know if anyone was expecting this movie to do this good. I mean, for fuck's sakes. I mean, I maybe you're right, Nick, but I'm surprised people aren't, like when we were getting, for a while there in the 2000 era, when basically Saw came out, we were getting bombarded with the psycho killer torture movies.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, we had, off the top of my head, we had all the Saw movies, which were like 7 of them or something like that. Then we had the Hostels that come out. Then we had the Hills Have Eyes movies. Then we had like the House. We had an assload of these fucking movies just coming out. And then all of a sudden, Paranormal Activity came out, and the shift changed in horror. Now it's all been, ghosts, and that's all this movie is. It's another ghost movie, and I'm so surprised that people have not sat down and said, "Wait, we've seen this movie 100 times over." But I don't know. I'm amazed. I'm really, like I said, Nick, I was quite amazed that the buddy action comedy R.I.P.D. did as shitty as it did.
Yeah, that's. I don't know. I think maybe people maybe they just didn't know it was coming out. I mean,
I saw advertisements for it. I don't know. I don't know. That's actually the only movie I saw. I saw advertisements on all three. Red 2 I saw the least. Conjuring I saw a fair amount, but R.I.P.D. I was bombarded with them. So I don't know. That's our top 5, people. Number 1 being The Conjuring. It's time for some news. We got about... let me look here. We got about another half hour to go, so... Nicky G, bring me up some news, because I like people like said I was busy, so I didn't get any of the news. So if you don't like the news, scream at Nicky G.
Bring it.
Do not challenge the YouTubers.
Well, they know I'm not going to look at the comments anyways. So.
Well, that's why I always tell people to comment on our site, because it's like YouTube will not inform me about anything. They don't inform me about jack shit. So. Yeah, you gotta go to the site. Anyways, first news. What do you got for me?
Oh, pretty much they are coming out for people who, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. It was actually pushed back. It won't be coming out till July of 2014, which sucks because, I like the Rise of the Planet of the Apes.
I fucking love that movie. I did not like the Marky Mark Planet of the Apes. I thought that one was pretty bad. I can't watch the originals. The original one is on Netflix, but I already know the twist. Everyone already knows you blow it up, damn you all to hell. I mean, it's kind of one of those things where I cannot watch it because it's just, I already know what happens. I know the exact story. I know exactly what happens. I'm like, sure, it'd be something to experience, but I got bad visual effects and I got a story I already know. There's nothing keeping me going. It's the reason why I can never finish Wrath of Khan. The same reason why I can never watch Soylent Green.
Yeah, I can watch the old ones. If I see them on TV and there's nothing else on, I'll watch them. For the Marky Mark one, it's I don't hate it. It's just something that for me it's just kind of like it's kind of fun. I liked it when I was a little bit younger, when I was a kid when it came out.
You were young and stupid. Yeah, don't worry, I was that same way too. I remember fucking Space Jam. I used to love that movie. And then all of a sudden I just watched it. I watched it 3 years ago or so, about 3 years ago, and I was jamming my head on the table. I was like, why am I watching this crap? It was bad. Let's just say sports people make the absolute worst actors. But besides the fact, so basically the new Planet of the Apes has been pushed back, is what I'm getting.
Yes, and not only that, but they're revealing they're coming out with a cool online comic for it. For it's pretty much like what's going to happen between Rise of the Planet of the Apes and Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. So it's basically how, when the virus kind of wipes everyone out and stuff, and pretty much leaving the apes to floor. So it's going to be kind of just like that.
I mean, granted, we're of course going to have the few humans left. Do you know if James Franco's coming back for this?
I have not heard anything about it. I would think he probably wouldn't, but
I don't know.
I don't know. That's the thing is I haven't seen the original Planet of the Apes since I was a kid, so I was just.
Well, they made the original Planet of the Apes was about the astronaut who flew down, which is going to be probably the similar story they're doing with this one, because in the Rise of the Planet of the Apes, they keep talking about the astronauts who went to Mars, they got quote unquote lost.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, they kept hinting at what's going to happen, and I'm picturing. I don't know if James Franco's making an appearance because he's going to have to be older. It's not like they're going to be he's going to have to look older. So I don't know if they're just going to be like, yeah, he died. Caesar is going to be in the movie. I did see that.
Yes.
Which basically every ape is done by Andy Serkis, so, yeah, hello. But.
Someone give him an Oscar,
please.
I know,
honestly, how the fuck has that dude not got an Oscar? I mean, even for The Hobbit where he plays the Gollum. I said Gollum. Gollum. When he plays Gollum. I mean, that was actually, I agree with other people I've heard, where they say that was probably, without a doubt, his best performance as Gollum was in The Hobbit. And I'm like, dude, that really was his best performance as Gollum. I mean, I liked him. I liked him a lot in Two Towers, and I liked him a lot in Return of the King. But that one, where he's just having a whole conversation, and it was just awesome. But and it is funny though. You can Andy Serkis. I really believe that he studies apes or something. Like he just sits at the zoo, just like talking to the apes. It's like what? Because no matter what that dude does, it's always something ape-like. Whether he's doing the motion cap for King Kong, doing the voice and motion cap for Planet of the Apes, or doing Gollum, which is kind of like an ape, or hell, even that and Odyssey to the West game where he did the voice writer and everything, and he plays a character who moves like a monkey and also is named Monkey.
I think the only thing I've ever seen Andy Serkis in otherwise was probably the movie like 13 going on 30 or something.
Was he in that?
Yeah, he was like the he was the gay boss pretty much.
Oh wow, did he get just a good career going since Peter Jackson? That's all I can say. Oh man.
But I mean, it's one of those things where I'd imagine James Franco might make a cameo, I would think. But I think he'd probably die, and that's kind of what makes Caesar, maybe not makes him go insane, but it's kind of like that thing that keeps him, because if James Franco was there, it would keep Caesar in the kind of sane mind to go, okay, I'm not going to kill these people.
Oh yeah.
But
I agree with you.
So I'm really excited to see this and see what they do with it. Like this picture right here that's on, what I'm looking at is, he's riding a horse and he's holding a rifle right now, so yeah, that's gonna be crazy fun, hopefully.
Oh yeah, I'm excited for that. I really don't know who the hell's directing these, but they're doing a good job. All right, what other news you got for me?
All right, well, Warner Brothers and DC Entertainment is planning on not only making that's another part of the news, but they are planning for a Flash movie. And then following that, there's another movie announcement, but besides that, they are going to have a Justice League movie, and this will probably be around 2016 to 2017. Yes.
Okay, a few things I'm thinking about. One, I don't know. I think a Flash movie could do good if they get the character a little bit more known, because I can't, honestly, off the top of my head, I can't think of a single Flash villain.
Yeah, I'm blank on that too.
Yeah, it's like, at least, like, with the lesser known heroes, like, what Marvel did with, like, Iron Man really wasn't a household name until the first movie. I still knew the Mandarin, and I still knew, the Crimson Dynamo. And same with Captain America. We all knew the Winter Soldier and, Red Skull. Flash, I literally don't, I'm not the biggest Flash person, so I don't know any of his fucking villains. I'm like, the only thing I've ever seen the Flash in was the Justice League, and I'm just like, I don't really know. And so the Flash movie, I say you guys got to market the fucking hell out of that movie, because otherwise we're gonna see like an R.I.P.D. doing it. And also, hey guys, probably don't make Ryan Reynolds, because we saw that what happened with the Green Lantern. Another thing with that Justice League movie.
Yes.
Okay. To my knowledge, I don't know if Christian Bale wants to come back as Batman, so you're going to have to make another Batman movie to reiterate Batman. Or go with Joseph Gordon-Levitt, where you make kind of like a Robin movie where he turns into the next Batman or something. I don't know. I don't know if Christian Bale wants to do it again. You already got the Superman. You got one of the big guys down. I'm pretty sure he'll come back. They kind of are writing off the Green Lantern movie as if it never happened. So they're going to have to do another Green Lantern movie. And then they got to do the Flash movie, so they already got that. Then they got to do Wonder Woman movie. Then they got to do a Aquaman movie if they really want to have him part of the Justice League. Yes or no, that's going to be up to them. But they will have to do a Martian Manhunter movie. 2016 seems... that seems like high hopes.
I kind of like the new Aquaman. What do you know anything about him? Do you like Aquaman?
No. Okay. Let me put it this way. I have never read the character, and the only time I've seen him remotely decent was in the Justice League, where he's actually useful. Because, I mean, let's all be honest. When you say Aquaman, we all think of we all think of Super Friends, where he's that useless motherfucker who all he can do is talk to fish. I will give him some credit. He has other powers. You know, he has super strength. He has electricity somewhat.
He can make that little part of your brain that was evolved from a fish. It can make you have a seizure.
He can do that. And also, if they go with the really cool version of Aquaman, or maybe if they make a movie about him or whatnot, where he like cuts off his hand and replaces it with a harpoon, I think that's also twice as cool. But otherwise, Aquaman, I think that's going to be the hardest character to ever sell on.
Yeah, I mean, especially because I'm not sure how many people who aren't into comics or just superheroes in general. Do you think they even know who Aquaman is?
I think everyone knows Aquaman as the punchline, in my opinion. That's the only thing I can think of people knowing Aquaman from, is him being that, oh, look at that pathetic character. And it kind of turns into this thing where, I'm going to hate to say it, DC, I mean, I might piss off some people. They've only had two characters that's actually had successful movies. And that has been the early Superman, even the new Superman, let's all admit it was fucking good. If you say, oh, too much action, you're a fucking moron. Or you're just too goddamn picky. And then the Nolan Batmans, because fuck the Tim Burton ones, those never happened. So they've only gotten two characters off the ground, and honestly, I don't know if Christian Bale wants to come back as Batman, so let's just say DC doesn't have the best track record with making live action movies. Because remember back when they were trying to make the Wonder Woman movie in like 2008?
Yep.
That bombed. Like they just dropped it. They didn't even make it. And I don't know. What do you think? Do you think they can make a Justice League movie, especially in that time period?
I guess it really depends on who to get. Who's writing. Just, I don't know. It really depends. Because I mean, Avengers. I think we all love Avengers, but I mean, it had pretty much a bunch of good movies that led up to it. I mean, some of them you might count as advertisements, but altogether, even the separate films are just, good enough as they are to even bring it all together. So here, you kind of have a lot of these, some would kind of flop, Green Lantern, just, you never know, man.
Yeah.
Might be good, might not be.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it depends what they do. We don't know. I mean, I remember certain people, like back, were saying like, oh, they can never do an Avengers movie. They were dead fucking wrong. Yep. And all I can say is, I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be the guy who sits there and says, well, they can never make a Justice League movie. I say they can. It can be done. They proved that with the Avengers. Of course it can be done. They have to get the movies out. They can't be they can't be touting like, well, we need to remake Batman again. Like, no, you don't need to remake Batman again. If you want to get this Justice League shit off the ground, you have to have a decent movies leading up to it. Unless you just come out with a Justice League movie which actually would be kind of smart on their part. Hear me out with this. With the Justice League movie, so they got this Superman, they got their Batman. They got those two. They got the big guys. They're big name actors. Mm-hmm. Maybe, hypothetically they get, who the hell was Superman in the last Superman movie, Man of Steel? It was
Henry Cavill.
Henry Cavill. They got Henry Cavill, and say Christian Bale comes back. So you got the two big guys. And then the rest of the cast, you get either lesser actors or just no names. But good no names. Don't get some piece of shit can't act. And then what you can do is make a big budget movie, but you don't have to pay the no name actors, guys playing Green Lantern and Flash, or apparently they're making the Flash, but Green Lantern, Flash, Wonder Woman. You don't need to get them. You don't need to pay them a whole hell of a lot, so you can get better visual, better script writing. You can get better storytelling overall by getting a lesser known name instead of what Marvel did on their side, where they're like, we need big name actors for everybody, and then now with the Avengers 2, everyone wants a lot of money. So, yeah, I think if they do that route, they can make a good big budget movie without having to making an assload of movies beforehand.
Yes.
All right. Do you get any more thoughts on the subject, or you can just go to the next news?
Well, next news does go into the same kind of road we've gone down, it does answer some questions. I mean, there was something I could have said before, but I'm going to save it for here. But basically, the LA Times has word that Warner Brothers will announce that they are officially going to make a Batman and Superman film.
All I can say is, Nick, you remember this because
Yes.
it was a few years ago, about maybe 2005, something like that. They made this promise before. It is not the first time Warner Brothers has said, "Oh, the Superman Batman movie." They've said that before, so I am skeptical right now. I am not saying, because another Nick pointed that out to me. He was like, "Oh yeah, Screen Rant and all this shit saying that there's going to be a Superman Batman crossover movie," and I say, we'll see.
You're sounding awful like those Avenger guys, but details are scarce right now. But they're saying Zack Snyder is expected to direct, and they're going to have Henry Cavill come back as Superman. They don't expect Christian Bale to come back. They just what I've heard before that Christian Bale he has not that he has no interest, but he says he doesn't have any information. No one's told him anything about the Justice League, and even as he said it's one of those things where he kind of just wants to pass the torch at this point. So he doesn't really want to come back. He's probably done.
Christian Bale for the DC universe would be like the Robert Downey Jr. in the Marvel area, where this guy, he made the best movies out of all of them, and he's doing he's the big guy. But he's doing something different than Robert, instead of saying, I'll keep doing it, you gotta keep paying me more. Every movie, you gotta pay me more. He's just kind of saying, you know what? I want to let somebody else do it. I have no interest. And he made 3 amazing freaking movies. I think he did his job. Honestly, I wouldn't expect him to come back. I would like it if he did. I think it'd be awesome if he did. But I won't get mad if they announce, so and so is going to play as Batman now. I don't know who else would make a good Batman right now at this point, because they would have to stick with the Nolan universe that they've made. Because, let's face it, folks, even Superman, the Man of Steel, is in the Nolan universe, in a way. It is that same, David S. Goyer, Nolan storytelling.
Other details say that David S. Goyer is going to be writing the script for this film.
Better.
And they're saying that Christopher Nolan might end up being producing, and this will probably come out around 2015.
That's a good, I heard some people say that, it's just random internet folks saying I would rather, why don't you guys make a Superman 2 before you do this? And I can kind of agree with that. Hey guys, let's get another Man of Steel 2 coming out before you do this whole crossover thing. Another thing though, a question for you, Nikki G. Who would you like to see fight the epic duo? Who would be a good villain to take on both Superman and Batman?
I'd imagine maybe you'd probably have someone with somewhat of a brain to fight him, especially if you're going up against Batman. And even Superman, he's not
stupid.
Yeah, he's not just a brute. Yeah. But imagine you might be able to pair whoever the villains are. You might be able to pair him up with some kind of brute or something.
I would personally. Okay, I know I'm not the biggest Lex Luthor fan because he's been in every fucking Superman movie except this one. But I would like to see, if I had to pick my villains, I would pick Lex Luthor because he's the perfect match against, he's a brain. But then you need someone from the Gotham side. And from the Gotham side, this is me, and don't ask why. I really don't know why. I would like to see Solomon Grundy.
Puppet Master. That wouldn't be a bad idea.
I mean, you're granted those two wouldn't make a really good match, but you can change the lore a little bit, saying, well, maybe Lex Luthor made Solomon Grundy, because dude, he can't be killed. He's a zombie. You can rip his arms off and all that. The only problem is you would have to have a match for Superman. And that's where I'm getting into. Solomon Grundy would have to have something to do with Kryptonite or something. Because, let's be honest, Solomon Grundy is a good match for Batman, but compared to Superman, he's nothing. Superman just ripped him in half. So, maybe unless they did a Metallo, and maybe someone's a genius off the Batman side. Because you got Metallo who's, who can, go toe-to-toe with Superman. And is smart, too. you got Metallo, and then you got maybe what's a good bet? Maybe the Paint. No, I don't like the Penguin really. Maybe Metallo. Maybe just fuck it, Metallo and I'm trying to think who would be a good one mixed up. I don't know. What two villains would you like to see?
I mean, I'd kind of like to say Clayface, but I'm not sure how they would do that.
That would be an interesting one because, the dude's. I don't really know how Clayface works, to be honest with you. He's kind of weird, but, you have maybe Clayface, he can't be beat by Superman that well, maybe. Or, hell, fuck it. You can have. I would, if fucking Nolan already put Ra's al Ghul or Ra's al Ghul in it, I was like, you could have Ra's al Ghul with Doomsday or something like that, and that would be a hell of a thing because Doomsday could beat the fuck out of Superman. But that's a really hard question. I don't know why I feel like I need to have just because you have a Batman Superman movie, I feel like you need to have one villain from each.
Yeah.
Or maybe a couple villains. I mean, there's two heroes. You need to have the odds against the heroes. That's the only way you can make a good movie. Like that's why I think with the Man of Steel, the latest one, it was such a good one because not only was Superman pitted against like 12, including General Zod, and like 12 others who were exactly just as strong as Superman. I thought that was perfect. I was like, fuck yeah, see, he is way overmatched right now.
Exactly. I mean, who doesn't love the underdog?
Yeah, that's the whole point of the hero. And sometimes they just don't do it right, like Spider-Man 3, where they're like, let's have 3 villains. And I'm just like, guess what? If you have 3 villains, you can't make them. You have to have maybe 2 villains and then have like strong minions or something. You gotta have, the 2 villain versus 1 hero. That has worked. We have seen that. I mean, it worked with Dark Knight. 2 villains, 1 hero.
Yep.
I just think if you start getting too many villains, then it just starts overcrowding. Like, even Amazing Spider-Man 2, with them at least having the 2 villains as is, Electro and Rhino, I'm just like, dude, you guys are pushing it. You guys are really, really pushing it. I thought Electro would have been a perfect villain right now. But, whatever.
Have you seen the new Comic-Con footage?
Was it just the video where, basically Jamie Foxx is just sitting in a chair the whole time or something?
Basically.
Yeah, I saw that. And I like the fact they changed Electro so he doesn't look so cartoonished. But I never was the biggest Electro fan. I don't know about you, but I don't know.
I've read a few comics with him when I was a kid, but I mean, it's one of those things where he just wasn't, a huge one for me. And I mean, it's always fun. And it's just one of those things where I look at the effects and the makeup and all stuff, and it's kind of like. I really do just see Jamie Foxx, and I'm just like, Django!
I know, Django! I have to say, though, I used to always get Electro confused with Shocker. Because it's like, don't they have, like, the same powers?
Basically.
Except for...
Yeah, I've never...
I was about to say, except Shocker doesn't have, like, electric powers. He has some stupid, weird-ass power. But anyways.
Yeah, I've never read a comic with a Shocker in it. But, man, I think the only thing I've seen him in, the first time I've seen him was, I want to say it was the Spider-Man game that was, kind of adapted to the first Sam Raimi Spider-Man.
Really? My first experience I saw him in was, Spider-Man 2, which was the movie adaptation game, the game movie adaptation. And he was just some thug, really. He was a thug that, had his own gang and such, and it was really just a side mission to take care of Shocker. But then again, I'm a big fan of the Spider-Man games. I'm weird. I'm not weird, but, I like playing as Spider-Man more than I like watching Spider-Man. It's weird.
That's not weird. I mean,
I don't know. I think Spider-Man's a better character to play, but as a character to watch, they give too much into his... And I'm just like, stop it, you're crying. Or at least, as you are with Sam Raimi, you're always crying. And a little bit with whoever the hell's directing the new one. But, Nicky G, I'd say if the news is really good, I'd say hold on to it. Otherwise, that's our show, because we're already at 59 minutes. So, everybody.
All right.
That is the Movie Thing Podcast. If you would like to comment, talk about it, whatever, give your opinion.
Ask questions.
Give your opinion. We do care about your opinion. Yes, as of now, until we start unless we get too big, then we have to start changing the rules. But as of now, we do care about your opinion. So, to let us know, you go to bloodyscreen.weebly.com to comment on really whatever fucking show you want, because I'll see it, but I would recommend the most recent show, because it's easier to get to, so I'd recommend commenting on this show, and like us on Facebook, and don't forget to subscribe, because, like I said, we have a lot of shit lined up for this next month or so. I was a champ. I was on top of everything. I got everyone recording a bunch of shit, so we're good, people. And good night, everybody.